single, dating, situationship, whatever it is, it pulls on the heartstrings. So get settled and enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from whenever we are watching this. This is week 17 of hashtag Run For Not From. And as you may have gathered, this week's topic is about friendships, relationships, and your true partner. And as always, Run For Not From. It's not about the time, it's not about the distance, it's about getting out in the outdoors, getting some steps done, maybe getting some pedals if you're on a bike, walking, running, sprinting, cycling, whatever it is, it's getting out here and doing something for you, carving out that time. So without further ado, let's get into the topic of friendships, relationships, and your true partner. In adulthood, there's no getting around it. It gets busier. People have families, they get married, they focus on their careers, they disappear for a little while. And friendships that were once so effortless suddenly become a little bit hard to maintain. And this is something I'm battling certainly with at the moment, with both friends at home and from university, because as you focus on different things, as you embark upon relationships and careers and stuff, it does get a little bit more difficult to fit everything in. But friendships should not be convenient. They should be intentional. You don't just start hanging out with the people that are around you because they're around you. You need to have genuine back and forth and good nature between you, and they need to better you. And one thing about it is they're your chosen family, you know. People talk about you don't choose your family, we can. Your friends can be an extension of your family. And just because you don't message every day, just because you don't text every day or call every day like you maybe used to, doesn't mean they don't love you any less, you know. And this is my sort of vow to my friends watching. Just because you don't talk or text as much as we used to, doesn't mean I don't love you any less. It really doesn't. And I apologize for being maybe more distant, and I'm definitely trying to do more now to try and live up to the words that I preach here. Because if I think of my life, I've had three main friendship groups really, and that is my pre-university lot, who I'm still massively privileged to still see now because they live in the general area. I feel very privileged with the fact that my local friends are still around me and I still can see them, and I do need to see them more often because I love and cherish them. I've then got my university friends. University friends bring a challenge because they're so far away, you know, so it becomes more and more difficult, and the intention behind the action needs to be with a lot more drive, a lot more planning needs to take place. And then finally, there is that convenience piece of the friends that I find along the way at work and stuff like that. And I've got a very good friendship group at work currently, lots of people to bounce off of, and gives a good energy to work, and that's really a good thing to have, because you don't want to be going into work feeling like you're a lone wolf, a stranger, you know. But I think the thing that I need to live up to more is definitely that intentional thought of planning, being ahead of the game, and not forgetting those who have been my friends for such a long time, because some of them certainly know me better than anyone else does. And so I need to actively be more present with them. So that's my vow to you guys. Apps, algorithms, liking, swiping, and ghosting. The dreaded "what are we" question, and I still want to see you, but I don't want anything further. Modern dating is a minefield of emotional ambiguity because we live in a world of infinite choices and minimal commitment. And often, all that a relationship takes is confidence more than convenience. And here I want to talk about one of my friends. I won't name him because it will name and shame. But recently, I was on a night out for my birthday, and one of my closest friends in the world, who's single now, we were teasing him a little bit throughout the night, and there was a girl who was serving us. She was the bartender and she was serving us cocktails throughout the night, and you could tell there was a little bit of flirtatiousness, but not too much. Obviously, just, you know, with a customer service job, you can never quite tell, and you don't want to be too forward or anything like that. And anyway, it was clear that he had an attraction towards her, and we were teasing him, poking fun. And at the end of the night, I said, oh, you should just go and ask her, completely thinking, oh, he's going to bottle it. And lo and behold, without a stutter or anything like that, he stayed behind at the end, made a cute little joke, and at the end just said, look, I'm really interested in just seeing if you're single, and I just wanted to see if I could ask for your number. And turns out she was in a relationship, right? So it didn't have that Hollywood ending, but the confidence filled me with such joy. And I looked at myself in the mirror, I thought, I don't think I would have done that. I don't think I was that confident to be doing something like that. And all it takes is that chance, you know? And I was so proud of him. And it's just interesting, that confidence over anything else. Here are some reminders. Real connection is rare, and I mean it when I said that commitment is often confidence, not convenience. You're not too much for wanting clarity. You're not too intense for wanting intentional love. And most importantly, it's okay to walk away from the almost maybes and didn't quite get there, because it's all leading to your special person who is definitely out there. You've got to keep trying, keep finding, keep searching, and never give up on yourself. This so-called perfect partner, I want to change the wording. I want to make it the right partner, because I don't believe in anything's perfect. Not really, not in humanity, not in nature. Everything has its imperfections, and that's what makes it beautiful all the same. And a few ways to look out for if a person's right for you and if they are your true right partner is you and them can communicate when it's difficult. You feel at peace with them. They don't bring anxiety, they don't bring stress towards you, but they can challenge you. They can be that person who can tell you to change or potentially divert your path. And often these people better you and make you grow. It's someone who can walk beside you, not behind you, not in front of you, but can take you by the hand and you can go there together. I think it's important to distinguish that when I talk about growth, I do mean growth, and I don't mean feeding your ego, not making your head any bigger, because I think there needs to be a mutual understanding that love is a practice, it's not a feeling. You're not going to get it right all the time, and you're not going to get it right immediately. It's a work in progress. And I'm not married, I'm in a long-term relationship, but when you hear people talking about marriage, they talk about working, making my marriage work, putting in the effort. It's not just this ready done Hollywood thing that we get from romantic comedies. And here's something that a lot of you might not want to hear, and that is, to truly find your right person, you need to be in the right place yourself. And what do I mean by that? You need to be totally content and happy with who you are as an individual, your own path. You don't have to be the finished product. I don't think anyone is ever really the finished product. You need to have a clear direction, an indication of where you're going, because as you change, grow and evolve, your partner will as well. But if you're starting on completely different paths altogether, they're never going to coexist and align. And it's controversial because I know so many people who, when a relationship ends, and let's face it, we've all been in relationships that end, and that's one bit of confidence you should take from it. If you're going through a breakup or a divorce or anything like that, the tragedy of it is everyone has gone through one. Everyone's gone through divorce, everyone's gone through, maybe not divorce, everyone's gone through a breakup and a separation. So find strength in the fact that everyone goes through it and everyone moves past it. But one thing I always find interesting with people when they separate or when they divorce or when they split up or whatever it is what they say about their former partner, what they say about themselves. Often the pain, the anguish comes from hating and resenting the other person. They did this, they did that, they did that. And there's no self-reflection. There's no looking in the mirror and understand that you're not perfect, they're not perfect, no one is perfect. And that's the point of a relationship. You know, you fill each other's cracks and crevices, as awful as it sounds, and you find a way to make it work. So if you are going through a breakup, a divorce, a splitting, or a separation, I know it hurts, I know it's painful and sore, and you know what? They might be more at fault than you are, but always look in the mirror. Is there anything you could have done? Is there anything you can change for the future? The journey is yours. Take your time. Look for real love, not this Instagram love. Oh, we look so good in camera and this is our lifestyle. I don't want any of that. It's the real nitty gritty stuff. When push comes to shove, when times get tough, how are people going to react and how are you going to cope as a pair? You know? And take care of yourself. Love is a hard and hurtful thing, and look out for each other. And when people ask you out and maybe you're not interested, or maybe you're breaking up with someone, take care. Treat people how you want to be treated, because the world will be a much better place if we did. And that leads us on nicely to this week's quote of the week. And we're in a lovely location. It feels like I'm on the fields of the Serengeti or something like that, with all this behind me. A lion or a tiger come jump out any second. But this week's quote comes from a lady called Angelita Lim, who, I have to be completely honest, after Google research, I can't find anything on her other than she's a poet. And this is most likely her most famous piece of work, which is lovely. And so without further ado, I saw that you were perfect and I loved you. And then I saw you were not perfect and I love you even more. Let me know what you think. I'm recording this at the point of filming, obviously, and maybe when I go back to edit, I will change my opinion. But thank you so much for watching, because I think this video has gone really badly. If you've liked this, please go watch my previous weeks, because I just have a feeling that this video just looks clunky and feels a bit off. I don't think my preparation for this video was as good as it has been in previous weeks, so I apologize for that. I promise the standard will return, and maybe this is me just being a bit self-conscious, but thank you for watching. Go back and look at my previous videos, which are better. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next week, where I promise I will return to normal form. Thank you so much.